Where's your attention? A substantial part of shifting your model of sales is going to have to do with your attention. So I want you right now to focus on where it is. Where it is, how does it shift? How does it move around? Where in the world is your attention? You can't do no-fault sales or any sort of sales that's going to work for everybody involved until you, at least to some degree, master your attention. You simply can't do it. Because among other things, at any point in the sales context, you can need attention. And if you need attention in the sales context and you're the salesperson, you become the reason the sale doesn't take place. Any of you has such a thing happen? Any of you have such a thing happen when you think about sales? How about when you think about thinking about sales? How about in relationship, which is all sales? Sales is one of the best tools I know of to find where you've blocked off, find where you've stopped, find where you've gotten in your own way and keep getting in your own way, to limit your perspective of what's here, what's in the world, how it works, how it dances. And some of these walls are just really tall. And some of them are just tiny but look so darn big. Sales isn't about getting a product from here to there. It isn't about making money. It isn't about any of that stuff. Sales is about getting to know yourself. And it's the fastest road I know. You will get to know yourself. Because the only reason you won't make a sale is you. So getting to know yourself turns out to be way, way, way worthwhile. So one of the things I want you to be able to do on a regular basis is notice your attention. And a fascinating dance starts to occur in the sales process where your attention starts dancing with their attention. You need to be good enough as far as flexible, as far as able to observe your own attention before you mess your attention up with another. Because otherwise, I mean, look at how much more complicated it gets as soon as your attention meets the attention of another.
Trying to keep my, well, I want to say keep my attention, put my attention on Josh.
So if you're trying to put your attention on Josh, that brings your attention back inside you because you're trying to do something in here.
Okay.
I'm going to show you a much easier route to this. Without looking at him, because you use looking as a way to keep in your loop.
Right, because I was trying to focus my eyes on him at breakfast.
I know.
Yes.
So sit right there without looking over at Josh and get curious what he's doing. Hold up a certain number of fingers, Josh. Get curious how many he's holding up. And discover over there how many he might be holding up in him. What do you come up with as an answer to how many he's holding up?
Well, the first thing that happens is I have to have that answer inside.
Yeah. Right. I want you to do it without that.
I realize
Jump to Josh.
Right.
How many fingers?
3.
Okay.
Wow.
About. Get curious about how they move their attention. Get curious about anything regarding them, because that pulls your attention out somewhat if you're somebody who has a tendency to have your attention in. If you're the opposite and you have a tendency to put your attention out, and then get curious about how you feel in their presence. So you get both sides. That's it.
I think my attention bounces around a lot.
All over the place. Just all over the place.
And
So-
it's almost like anything is a reason to pop it over, because
Yeah.
she got a toehold in, and as soon as Barry reached for the camera, oh, thank you, it went, boy, every bit of it just zoomed right back.
Infinitely easier to sell somebody you don't know
Mm-hmm.
than somebody you do. Because somebody you do has already got all your patterns lined up. They already got the whole dance going. And yet, many, many people will say, I just want to sell this to people I know. That's where the easies. No.
And in the moment, Rick, of finding it and feeling it and experiencing it, there was nothing I could do about it. It was like, oh, there it is. And it kept running. I mean, there was nothing to do about it. It was just there, and that realization was there.
There's never, ever, ever anything to do about it.
Sure feels like there should be.
There's no aspect of any of this that's a violent act. It all has to do with acceptance and inclusion. I just got to do this, then I'll be able to sell. That's already down the road of harsh mistreatment of yourself. If you're harshly mistreating yourself, how are you going to do in a sales context? It's going to be harsh mistreatment of somebody else or yourself while they watch.
About a year ago, I was making calls to enroll people in a course for here. And I was leaving messages like crazy on answering machines. And I was practicing, and
then the worst thing happened. Somebody answered and he said, I'm going to call back. Could you let your answering machine answer?
Sort of. I mean,
Shit.
I was actually getting people. I got a few callbacks from those messages because they were great. I mean, I was varying, but then I get this guy live on the phone, and it's all over because I just go, and the guy goes, "No thanks, I'm not interested."
Right there with attention, you tell everybody, including yourself, just what to do. Get it? Just right there.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
He was intrigued.
It's not like
and
he has any choice.
Yeah.
He said, the guy on the other side of the phone said, hold on, wait a minute. I don't exist.
Right. I killed him off.
I don't exist. He reaches out for Rick. Rick is disappearing somewhere near the speed of light. What's the guy going to do? They don't say, I'm not interested because they're not interested. They say, I'm not interested because you're not there. You've gotten so busy going somewhere before you knew where in the world you were going that's part of why we're moving back to attention. Your attention has undercut the sale. It's foundational for this. It's undercut the sale before you ever even had a chance. So you've actually never sold anything. You've been undercut too soon. Even when it worked, you've been undercut too soon. Your resistance to sales is your resistance to a feedback loop. Your resistance to sales is a resistance to having feedback on how you're doing. I don't want feedback on how I'm doing. Now, I'm willing to have feedback on the ping pong table, and that's called a score. But I don't want feedback on how I'm doing in the dance with my own patterns, with my own limitations, with my own life. That's what sales is. At the possibility layer, something truly magical happens. The two of you, or 5 of you, or 10 of you, however many it is in the context, experience a unification of emotion, because the world of all possibilities is equally scary, equally wonderful, equally everything to everybody. In other words, when you can go down into the possibility level with somebody, you will have had an experience of unity with them that reveals that sales is not an adversary game, that you two are on the same side and that you're working together. In the face of possibility is where that happens.